Good evening and welcome. I'm Sheila Balgobin and I am the Dream Decipherer, and I help you to sleep sound and dream deep. This evening, I thought I'd share with you a two-part series on childhood's sleep problems. This first part will actually look at sleep problems that occur with children, and the second part will actually look at the impact of children's poor sleep on their parents. Now, do your kids by chance happen to wake you up frequently at night because they can't sleep? Do they get restless around bedtime? We'll take a look at those things and see if there are a few simple things that you may be able to do that will help your child to sleep better and consequently help you to sleep better. Now, anyone who's taken care of children will, particularly fussy toddlers, or had to rush around in the mornings because they can't get their child up for school. Um, it helps to understand that each child um, their own routine, but also that many sleep problems for children are linked to not only their bedtime habits, but their daytime behavior. And parents can work with those things to help their child to sleep better. But to determine what the optimum routine is or what the optimum number of hours are, first you need to decide whether your child's sleep pattern is normal or not. Now, the best way to do that is to turn detective a little bit and to keep a diary and actually to note the child's behavior, maybe even what they're eating, what time they're going to bed, what time they're waking up, different things, but to note what's happening so you can build up a picture actually of what's going on. Now, the number of hours that each child requires for optimum sleep varies. They say for adults, for example, 6 to 9 hours is optimum. I've been sleeping 5 to 6 hours all of my life, and I'm healthy. I'm fine. So it's these. I'm going to give you some figures as to what number of hours are appropriate for what age groups. But remember, this is only a guide. Each child is different. So, for example, for infants between 4 and 12 months, and before I finish that, up to 3 months, forget about getting any sleep because that's when newborns are establishing their cycle or schedule, as it were. So, you're not going to get much sleep. So, from about 4 to 12 months, 12 to 16 hours are considered normal, which includes nap time. For children 1 to 2 years old, 11 to 14 hours, which includes naps as well. For 3 to 5 year olds, 10 to 13 hours, again with naps, is recommended. For 6 to 12 year olds, 9 to 12 hours, and teenagers, 8 to 12 hours. Again, these are all guides. Each child is going to be different, and depending on circumstances, their sleep patterns may change as well. Excuse me. For example, medication, if the child is ill, if they're changing schools, there are various things that can impact a child's sleep, just as it does with adults. Now, there are indications that you can use to give you a clue as to what's going on with your child. And children, just like adults, do have problems controlling their moods when they're sleep deprived. Sleep, or the lack of it, affects much of our behavior and our states of mind. So sometimes the symptoms of insufficient sleep can even mimic those of ADHD. So there may be children who are being diagnosed with ADHD and they're just simply tired. So that's something to think about. Now, here are a few questions that you could ask with regard to Does your child often seem cranky or irritable or over emotional? Do they have trouble concentrating at school or at home? Has a teacher informed you that there's some kind of problem in terms of attention or behavior with your child? Does your child fall asleep while riding in the car? Do they appear to have trouble following conversations, like they lose the thread, or they seem spacey in some way? They've gone AWOL mentally somehow. Does your child perhaps have trouble waking up, or falls back asleep after you've gotten them up for the day? You're getting them ready for school, and you wake them up, and you go back in the bedroom, and they're fast asleep again. Um, does your child perhaps often crash and run out of energy much earlier than their regular bedtime? These are potential clues that there may be something going on that's preventing your child from following a proper sleep cycle. Now, any of these symptoms can indicate that you may have a troubled sleeper on your hands. So, sleep problems may not necessarily be a great cause of concern for children, but they, just like us, they have to learn how to sleep, how to get proper rest. I mean, it's a routine, just like brushing your teeth or taking a bath. So, if your child is often waking up at night or has trouble settling down, it could mean that they're struggling with insomnia, which is the biggest sleep issue among children. Now, if children aren't sleeping, it's probably the result of their daytime habits or how they spend their time right before going to bed. Younger children can't make that connection, but so you have to act as the detective, like I said, do some investigating. But let's look at some of the reasons why children may not be able to fall or stay asleep. Stress, believe it or not. Yes, children, yeah, they're young, but they can and do experience stress. Even in the womb, they can experience stress. So if it's a child that's of school age, ask them how school is going, if and how things are with their friends. Could it be that someone is bullying them? Consider any changes in their living environment. Have you broken up as a family? Have you moved recently, or the child changed schools? The arrival of a new child into the family can often create problems. So, or having to suddenly share a bedroom with a sibling. All of these things are possible reasons why a child's sleep pattern may be disturbed. Another one that people don't think about or talk about is caffeine. Yes, caffeine in our children. But Red Bulls and energy drinks and all of that, sodas, often contain caffeine. So you really need to limit your child's consumption of these kinds of drinks, and even better still, cut them out as much as possible, if not completely, but severely limit their intake, and certainly don't let them drink them from the mid-afternoon onwards, because that's going to keep them up. Medication. If your child has been ill or is on a course of medication for some reason, that can also cause problems, particularly if they're being treated for ADHD, or taking antidepressants. Those can cause insomnia. Other medical issues, I mean, there could be things like sleep apnea, where there's the stoppage of breathing during the night, restless leg syndrome, other things. A stuffy nose from allergies or a cold. So that you just have to be aware and to pay attention as to when these episodes occur, what was going on, the context, which will give you some clues as to what can be done about it. Now, one to look at possible ways to adjust the child's sleep patterns is to set the mood before bedtime. Now, it's important that a relaxing pre-bedtime routine be initiated and kept up. It should last perhaps between 20 to 45 minutes and include maybe 3 to 4 soothing activities. It could be maybe taking a bath, reading them a story, singing a lullaby, whatever it is, but something that will train the brain to realize that when this routine starts, ah, it's time to quiet down in preparation for sleep. It's about training the brain, training the nervous system to actually start to unwind in preparation for sleep. Now, make sure that there's no television, no Wi-Fi, no smartphones, or any other electronics involved in this process. The blue light emitted by electronics, by Wi-Fi products, your smartphone, your tablet, etc., will inhibit the production of melatonin and serotonin, which can only occur at the deepest levels of sleep. So that blue light and the constant pinging is not going to help. Ditch it. Just ditch it completely. Now, if your child connects certain behaviors with uh, their bed going to bed on a consistent basis, again, like I said, it's just like Pavlov's dogs. When they hear the dinner bell, or when they see this, in this case, when the child goes into this routine, the body already knows how to relax and starts to prepare for sleep. I do the same thing when I meditate. I practiced transcendental meditation and have for many years. And just for me to sit quietly and close my eyes in preparation to meditate, my body already ratchets it right down and starts to settle. And this is exactly what we're trying to instill. Now, on the other hand, the other prong of this attack, if you will, on sleeplessness in children is to build good daytime habits that will support this sleep, or allow them to fall asleep more easily. Now, often the child's inability to sleep is due to what's going on during the day. This is particularly true with adolescents and teenagers, and it's important to set good lifestyle habits to ensure a proper sleep no matter what age the child is. Now, some suggestions around that are to, for example, make sure that your child is only using the bed for sleep, and don't let them play games in there, don't let them watch TV in there, don't use that to be their naughty step when things go wrong. Let them only associate the bedroom with sleep. So otherwise the brain will subconsciously start to associate bedtime with something else, and that would just defeat the purpose. Now, a sleep schedule, whatever it is that's good for your child, however many hours that is, it's important to develop that routine and stick to it. No wheedling. Oh, mom, no, go to bed. No, cannot. No, go to bed. You have to have discipline yourself in order to be able to instill that discipline in your child as well. So it will make it easier for your child to fall asleep naturally if it, again, training the brain and the body to relax at a certain time so that sleep can take place. Adolescents, however, should not need to sleep much more than an hour past their usual wake up time on the weekends. Don't let them sleep too much. If they do, it probably indicates that they're not getting sufficient sleep during the week. So if they're sleeping all day on Saturday and Sunday, they're obviously sleep deprived, and you need to look a bit more closely at that. Another thing that people may not think about is about your child going to bed either hungry or too full. Both situations will create discomfort for the child. So a light snack, like warm milk, and maybe a bit of a banana would be a better, because of the tryptophan, which will help them to sleep. However, no heavy meals within an hour or two of bedtime, because this could very well keep them awake because the system is trying to digest the food. I talked about caffeinated drinks. There are other things that you can do, including making sure that your children aren't napping too much during the day, and to be active during the day so that they're just tired out. I remember, going to summer camp as a child and coming home and just basically passing out after dinner because I was just bushed. So it's important that they burn calories, burn energy, and so that they're tired and actually will feel the need to sleep. Now, there's a special kind of problem, like such as nightmares and night terrors, which can also be a problem for the child. And some of the reasons why they're suffering these nightmares and night terrors may be related to some of the issues that have been highlighted already. Now, night terrors are different from nightmares. Nightmares, the child will often wake up terrified, waking you up, of course, but is aware that they've had this dream. With night terrors, they may be exhibiting all the behaviors of someone having a nightmare, but they will be totally unaware of that fact. And some of the things that can happen is that they will sit upright in bed. They maybe start sleepwalking. There may be other issues that come up, like bedwetting. So there are a number of things that can happen as a result of sleep deprivation in our children. Some of them less severe and able to be corrected with a routine. Others that may require the intervention of your doctor or consultant. That remains to be seen. But in any case, the best way to be able to determine that is, as I said, to turn detective, to find out what exactly is going on with your child, to be able to get a handle on what needs to happen next. Now, if you take anything away from this, is that the most important thing is to establish a routine around the child's bedtime, whatever that routine may be. But to establish steps, if you will, that will make the child automatically start to relax in preparation for sleep. And maybe to give positive reinforcement, to praise the child when they manage to stay in their bed all night, or give, little prizes. I mean, it could be gold stars, but, giving constant reinforcement on a regular basis, more often, maybe every few days or once a week, can also help people just enjoy winning. Humans enjoy winning. So make it a game, make a game of it so that the child engages with the process and wants to be able to sleep better. So there you have it. There's some suggestions about childhood and sleep. The next episode will actually look at the impact of your child's sleep on you, the parent. So I hope you found that useful. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Have a fantastic evening and a wonderful week ahead. Take care. Bye-bye.